If you are applying for an F1 student visa, there are some key mistakes you need to avoid during your US visa interview. These small errors could result in a visa denial, and I know you don't want that. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 things you should not do during your US visa interview, and I'll also give you tips on how to answer questions effectively. Hi, and thank you for joining me to talk U.S. immigration. If you don't know me already, my name is Andrea Shev, and I've been a U.S. immigration lawyer for over 20 years. I put together this YouTube channel to give you clear, concise, and easy to understand information about all different topics related to U.S. immigration. Now, in this video, I'm going to go over 5 things you should not do during your U.S. visa interview if you're applying for an F1 student visa. I will also give you tips on how to answer questions effectively. Stick around until the end because I'll also share some bonus tips to help you pass your interview with confidence. Let's get started. One of the biggest mistakes students make is giving short, unhelpful answers. For example, the officer might ask you when you walk up to the window at your interview, "Why are you going to the US?" If you just say, "To study," this is a missed opportunity. The visa officer already knows you're a student. They have your I-20 form in front of them. Instead of giving a short answer, take this opportunity to talk about your field of study, why you are going to study, why did you choose this field, your academic or work background, have you worked or studied in this field before, your career goals, how will this degree help you in the future. For example, I'll give you a strong answer that could be something like this. I'm going to the US to study and pursue my master's in data science at XY University. I have always been passionate about data analysis and even worked as a junior analyst for 2 years after my undergraduate studies. My goal is to develop my skills in AI and machine learning so I can contribute to the growing tech industry in my home country. That answer tells a story and helps the officer understand why you chose this program and how it connects to your background and future plans. So make sure you know your story and convey it to the officer at the beginning of the interview clearly and concisely. Now, many students think that they should memorize answers to sound more prepared. But this can actually hurt your chances. Visa officers are trained to spot memorized responses. If you sound robotic or rehearsed, they might think you're not being honest, you're hiding something, or you don't actually understand what you're saying. Instead of memorizing, focus on understanding the key points you want to mention. Practicing different ways to explain the answers naturally, maybe with some friends. Speaking confidently like you're having a normal conversation. A good way to practice is to have a friend or mentor or even me ask you different versions of common visa questions that may get you more comfortable in responding without sounding too rehearsed. Next, your body language matters a lot in a visa interview. If you avoid eye contact, fidget, look down, or talk really softly, the officer may see you as nervous or dishonest. Visa officers handle hundreds and hundreds of interviews every day, and they are trained to assess your confidence and credibility based on how you present yourself. Make eye contact. This shows confidence. You don't have to stare at them, just look at the officer naturally. Speak clearly and at a normal pace. Rushing through your answers can make you sound unprepared. Breathe and stay calm. If you get a question you weren't expecting, take a second to think about it before you answer. Don't take a whole minute to answer because you don't have that much time, but take a couple seconds to think about the question asked and why it is being asked before you answer. A lot of students think if they were denied a visa before, they should apply to a different school, but this usually does not help. Visa officers don't deny students just because of the school they chose, even though they are less likely to usually deny a student when they're accepted to an extremely competitive and prestigious school because they understand the work and sacrifice likely they put in to get even accepted to that school. But the school they have chosen to go to is not necessarily the reason why they got denied. The student will usually get denied because the student didn't present themselves well, the student did not give strong answers about their future plans, the student did not prove strong ties to their home country. If you get denied and then apply again with a different school, the officer might think you just want a visa at any cost instead of focusing on your studies. You don't have a solid reason for choosing your original school. Instead of changing schools, Work on improving your answers and interview confidence. If you were denied, try to figure out why and then prepare better for your next interview. If you decide to change schools, that is fine, but be prepared to have a valid and logical reason of why you changed the school since your last interview. One of the most important parts of the interview is proving that you can afford your education. The visa officer will usually ask, how will you pay for your studies? If you do not give a clear answer, they might assume you don't have enough funds and deny your visa. If you have a scholarship, mention it immediately. I have received 50% scholarship from my university, which will cover my tuition. If you have a sponsor, like a parent or a relative, explain the relationship. My father, who is a doctor, will be sponsoring my education. He has a stable income and I have included his bank statements and tax documents as proof. Don't just say, my uncle's paying for it without any other details. The officer might wonder, why is your uncle sponsoring you? Can your uncle sponsor you? Is there enough financial backing that your uncle can sponsor you? Is this arrangement realistic? Be prepared to show bank statements, tax documents, and sponsorship letters to support your answer. Now, they might not ask to see the documents, but let them know that you have them just in case. Okay, before we wrap up, here are a few extra things to keep in mind. Your English matters. The interview is conducted in English, so you should practice speaking clearly and confidently. If the officer struggles to understand you, it could create problems, especially because you are there to apply for a visa to study at a U.S. school that will most likely be teaching courses in English. If you don't speak English, the officer will think, how is he going to study at a school or university in the U.S. and doesn't know any English? Even if you are applying to study at an ESL program to learn English, the officer will still want to know that you have some level of English proficiency. Be honest. If you lie or give conflicting answers, you will likely be denied. These officers have access to a lot of information. If you want more information on what they know before you walk up, watch this video. I'll put the link above. Keep your answers focused. Don't talk too much or go off topic. Stick to the questions and give relevant details. If you avoid these 5 mistakes, you will have a much better chance of getting your F1 visa approved. Give detailed but clear answers. Speak naturally and avoid memorized responses. Stay confident and make eye contact. Stick with your chosen school and improve your interview performance if you were denied before. Be ready to explain your financial situation with solid proof. I hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions about your F1 visa interview, drop them in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more visa tips. Also below is a link to a free US visa guide. Make sure to check it out. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.